going there. Spring Point Ledge Lighthouse is in South Portland. It's almost on the campus to southern Portland Community College, I believe it is. So the college is right here, and then there's like behind there is the lighthouse as well as Fort Preble. So that's what we're doing today. You see it? What do you think? You having a happy day? So I have the 3 little kids here, and then I don't know if you can see, they actually went pretty fast. That, I'll zoom in a little bit, is where the kids are. If we can see them in a little bit there. So it's not a super smooth walk. You have to like step over some rocks and such. So just the middle kids went this time, and I have the younger kids over here because the little kids would need help, and there's just not enough hands to help right now. By the mid-1800s, this coast was quite a booming place. They were bringing coal and fuel and commodities back and forth to this harbor point, and there was many high profile shipwrecks right at this point, but it took until 1891 to actually build the lighthouse here. In 1898, during the height of the Spanish-American War, both Portland Harbor was mined, and so both Portland Head, which we've seen before, and Portland Spring Ledge Point Light, which is this, went dark actually for 3 whole months, and they were able to get that back up in 3 months on May 1st. Spring Point Ledge Light is a spark plug lighthouse in South Portland, and it ended up getting electricity in 1934, and they did that by creating a new breakwater and running an electrical cable out from the shore to the light, which is kind of interesting. Look at the harbor over there. Way out there is another fort, and that is called Fort Gorges, and that was built from 1858 to 1865. No battles were ever fought there, nor troops stationed there. Named for the Colonel Proprietor of Maine, Sir Fernando Gorges, it was constructed to support existing forts, including Fort Preble, which we'll see in a minute, in South Portland, and Fort Scramble, built there on House Island in 1808. Congress, however, did not fund the construction of Fort Gorges until 1857. The walls of the fort begun the next year when the American Civil War broke out in 1861. Work quickly advanced. Sorry, I didn't realize the wind was so crazy until I was back editing. So they are coming back from the lighthouse here, and I'm going to share some photos with you at the end of this. We went to talk to them, and I found the scoop as to why the fort was all closed off. And, so much information. Anyhow, I'll share some pictures and that information at the end of this video. They are coming back. As you can see, the wind is City of South Portland, Spring Point Shoreway. This project was funded with local taxes and assistance by the Heritage Conservation Recreation Service of the U.S. Department of Interior. Just coming up here. That's where the light is. This is real life mommyhood. So sometimes when people are like, oh, your videos are a little shaky, this might be why. So they just came over from there. The lighthouse, I'll just video just here so you guys can see. You can see just how the ground is a little bit more uneven than some of the other lighthouses that we've been to. It's kind of disappointing. It wasn't all closed off last time. You could like see through all the things. It's supposed to be though a little path that goes, oh look at the rose hips. It says keep off unstable granite. So I wonder if something happened. Last time you could actually like walk up to the windows here and see out, which was really cool. So from the map, it looked like we could maybe go around this side, see the other side of the fort, and then go over to Willard Beach, which you probably could have, but you would have had to walk off the rocks. You can see that later. I'll point out where Willard Beach is. But this fort, this is Fort Preble, and it was built in 1808, and this fort was meant to protect Portland from the British as tensions were rising with them during the period before the War of 1812. This was also the site of the only Civil War battle in Maine, the Battle of Portland Harbor, where Confederate Lieutenant Charles Reed unsuccessfully attempted to hijack a ship, the ship Chesapeake, then went to try the same with Caleb Cushing. Due to being overcome by either Portland residents, Union soldiers, or both, as well as the lack of wind to move the ship, Reed was forced to set fire to the ship. He and his crew were then captured and imprisoned at Fort Preble. It stops right here. It doesn't go around.
It stops right there, right where these tunnels end.
It has a steep path up to, like, the stroller wouldn't be able to go, but then it looks like someone's private property up there, kind of. But then I don't know if it is.
I think it's the collar. So it was continuously used through the Civil War, the Spanish-American War, World War I, and World War II. 4 NDOT period batteries were installed after the Spanish-American War. An additional battery was constructed during World War II. It was deactivated the 31st of July in 1947. That's Willard Beach over there. It's the end of the fort there. I wish there was a sign that talked more about the fort or the history behind this. So what I will be doing though is going and checking out the history behind this fort and the fort that's sitting in the middle of the ocean that we don't know what it is. So we will be researching those things, and I will make sure that I add that to this video here. Yeah, very interesting. It's really just, yeah, like I've said before in some of these fort videos, it's really interesting to think of being someplace that, you know, there was men out here looking through the windows of those, waiting to see if there was going to be battle. So for now, it's time to say goodbye to this place. We ended up going into the little gift shop, which is right there, and I took a couple pictures of books that kind of intrigued me, and I'm going to share at the end the reason why this is gated off. Okay guys, we are back home now. I was able to go in and talk to the woman in the gift shop, and she talked to me, and she was talking about a couple years ago we had some really bad storms. I think that I shared that on the video to the Portland Head Light, because they were actually fixing some of the areas at Portland Head and they had that closed off. So my last video of the Portland Head, you could see it closed off and they were fixing that area. The reason is the waves were going so high up over there that it like crashed into the area and tore off the door of, I mean, we're talking about a good 40 feet from the ocean up to the building, and tore off the door and the cobblestone like pathway. It tore like the whole area off, so they were fixing and repairing all of that. That has not happened to that lighthouse, so I guess similar happened here. So I get some pictures. These are not my pictures, they're pictures off of the internet. They're actually out of the sources that I got was actually from the newspapers, both the Bangor Daily and the Portland Herald Press. I took the pictures from there, but this is what happened to the light that we just went to visit, the Spring Ledge Point. Why did I just get that wrong? And to Fort Preble. And so Fort Preble, actually some of the gravel and such, it's not stable to be over there anymore because it had destroyed the ground around there. Whether or not they're going to repair that, I don't know yet, but I'm going to share with you those photos now here. So the storm of December 24th, 2022 caused the bottom of the fort to dislodge lots of rocks, and actually caused that end part where we were walking and you could see it falling down, that dislodged. So for the safety of everyone, they have since braced up the bottom in 2023. So I've done a little digging and it does not look like they plan on restoring it at this point because they don't have funds. If you'd like more information, contact South Portland Community College because they're the ones that actually own it. So maybe they have a fundraising type effort going on. I could not find one. But if you are curious about that, you can call them and ask them about it. But yeah, what a story, huh? I love living in history. I hope you guys can visit some historical places soon. Let me know down in the comments below where you're visiting and what you're enjoying. Have a blessed day.